Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today we're diving straight into Zihin Yolu.
Yeah, this online platform from Kadir Kubashik.
Exactly. And our goal really is to unpack what makes it tick. Is it just another blog or something, well, deeper for you?
Well, the source we have is Kubashik's own introduction. He calls it a blog at the intersection of philosophy, art, and logic.
Okay, interesting intersection.
Right. And he frames it as an intellectual universe. The whole seems to be sparking your thinking, getting you to ask questions, not just passively receiving info.
An intellectual universe. I like that. So definitely not about just, spoon-feeding information.
No, exactly. It's meant to kick off what he calls a mental discovery process for you.
A mental discovery process. Okay,
Yeah.
so pretty active. What sort of topics are we actually talking about inside this universe?
Well, this is where it gets really broad. You've got philosophy, obviously, thinkers like Aristotle, Zihin, but then it goes way back,
How far back?
like Sumerian texts,
Wow, okay. That's unexpected.
isn't it? And then it jumps forward to modern art theories, classical logic, even contemporary design principles. It's quite the mix.
Yeah, that's a huge range. How does it all connect? Is it just scattered ideas or is there a thread?
That seems to be the point. The introduction suggests it's not just surface level. There's a real depth of inquiry,
Yeah.
meaning each piece tries to dig down to fundamental questions. The big ones like, what even is reality? Or can art actually be a form of knowledge?
Right, the heavy hitters, stuff that makes you stop and think.
Exactly. And crucially, it doesn't pretend to have all the answers neatly packaged.
Ah, okay.
The text suggests these ideas are more like starting points, nudges for you to explore further, to develop your own understanding.
So it's more about provoking questions than delivering definitive truths.
Precisely. Which kind of makes you think about what these online spaces are really for, doesn't it?
It does. Now, you mentioned philosophy. The description says Kubashuk's approach is both theoretical and creative. What does that mean in practice?
Well, it implies he's not just sort of reporting on old ideas. It mentions original concepts, even conceptual expansions.
Like what? Any examples?
It hints at his own take on the Zenon paradox, for instance, and even suggests an ontological source like a source in the nature of being for the golden ratio.
Whoa, okay. That's ambitious. Going beyond just commentary.
Yeah, it seems to suggest some genuine intellectual, innovation happening there, trying to push the boundaries a bit.
And what about the art and design side? How does that fit in with philosophy and logic?
That connection seems really central. The blog apparently explores the theory behind Kubashuk's own work as an artist and designer.
So you might read like an exhibition review or a design critique.
Exactly, or campaign analysis. But it's all linked back to this underlying philosophical framework.
Interesting.
Yeah, the text explicitly says each artwork is seen as a carrier of thought. Visuals become another way to express these written ideas. Theory made visible, almost.
I see. So theory and practice feeding each other.
Seems like it.
So who is this actually for then? Is it super academic?
It doesn't sound like it's only for academics. The intro says it's for anyone who thinks, who questions, who wants to use their reason.
Okay, so a curious mind, basically.
Right. And the writing style apparently reflects that. Sometimes it's analytical, other times more experiential. But the key thing is, it demands you engage. No passive skimming.
You have to put in some mental work.
Yeah. And the sheer variety backs that up. Logic, metaphysics, art criticism, contemporary philosophy, even speculative theories, all rubbing shoulders. It's challenging those neat little boxes we put knowledge into.
Right, blurring the lines.
Definitely.
So ultimately it's positioned as, what, a library? A
And
journal?
like a thought production center. That's the
Different.
phrase.
Okay.
Yeah. The aim isn't just storing knowledge, but actively, reconstructing it, testing it, disrupting it, deepening your understanding. It's about the act of thinking.
Making you an active participant, not just a spectator.
That seems to be the core idea.
Yeah.
Shifting from just consuming content online to actually, creating thought.
Okay, so summing up. Zihin Yolu comes across as this really dynamic space where philosophy, art, and logic intersect, but the main goal is to get you, the reader, the thinker, actively involved.
Exactly. It's an invitation not just to learn about things, but to really grapple with big questions across a surprisingly wide intellectual field.
Right. Which leads us to a final thought for you to chew on. If those traditional boundaries between different fields of knowledge are maybe meant to be pushed or even erased, what's a familiar concept or idea in your own life that might reveal some surprising new depths if you looked at it with that questioning, boundary-crossing Zihin Yolu spirit?